this video is for you. If you are on the other end of the spectrum where you've seen more, you know there's more out there and you're angry because of that, this video is also for you because this will allow you to take your mind from a place where you think about your environment as a detriment and start to change it to where you think of that environment as your greatest asset.
You know what I'm saying? People in my house high, smoking and stuff like that. And my mom was drinking heavy at the time. My mom, she was a violent drunk. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck happened in Cali that had her drink. Because she blamed her childhood on the reason why she was acting the way she was acting. The reason why she was drinking so much. And when my mom was...
That'll do it. That will do it. If you are gonna be the best crackhead in the world and you are in an environment where there is crack, then smoke the crack. Because that is you. That is you. Smoke it. Hit that motherfucker. If you're gonna do it, then do it. But if that's not what you want, when you see an angry person or you see someone who may be struggling with an emotion, you can almost guarantee that every single time their environment is matching that. And if you put them in a different environment and you begin to teach them how to actually become a person who doesn't define themselves with the people or the things or the emotions that are in that environment, then you can. In this series, we're going to be breaking down the most viral clips from your favorite athletes, your favorite streamers, your favorite entrepreneurs, and just everyday people, and allowing you guys to see what it means to be lost and what it means to be found. And not lost in a sense of you don't know where to go, but lost in your direction of life. I want to be able to provide a roadmap for you guys to find your purpose and also be able to see what that actually looks like. So in this video, we're going to be reacting to this Peaks 100. This is on his second channel, Peaks DGAF, and he is opening up about this experience that he had when he was a child and how he ended up in foster care. So let's start back at the beginning. Let's see if Peaks is lost or found.
I don't know. I just really don't like going into like my past and stuff like that. Just because like, I don't know, like, it's just stuff that like I feel like I'm not really proud of, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I feel like I just didn't have like a normal childhood, you feel what I'm saying? Like compared to like other people, you know what I'm saying, that was my age at the time. I had grew up in foster care for some years and all that, bro. Like shit was...
So normal is what you make it compared to what Peaks is describing in his situation that he was currently in. He defined normal as what he did not have. So the things that were going on around him weren't quote unquote normal. So let's see what that's all about. Let's see why he defined those things as not normal.
It was crazy, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, some of y'all know, some of y'all don't know. I'm from Montgomery County. And like this is for like people that like aren't from this area, you know what I'm saying, aren't from the DMV. Basically, Montgomery County is the suburbs of Washington, D.C. You got Montgomery County, then you got PG County. You know what I'm saying? PG County is a little bit rougher than Montgomery County because they on like, they border the south side of D.C. You know what I'm saying? Montgomery County, we border like the north part. You know what I'm saying? Like the rich area. Be honest with you. Like that's the area of D.C. that we border. You know what I'm saying? However, out here, I mean, just like everywhere else, bro, you have fucking Section 8, all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And my mom and them, they had moved here because they was going through some stuff in Cali. So they moved out here, and then they ended up getting, well, my mom ended up getting on like HOC out here. You know what I'm saying? In Montgomery County. But where freaking they had put her, because apparently HOC, they decided where she went for whatever reason. They put her like in this little cul-de-sac. The whole entire cul-de-sac was like people that was like on HOC, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So the whole cul-de-sac, everybody was like on drugs, fucking popping pills, doing like ecstasy, PCP, like all that shit, like in that little cul-de-sac.
So we begin to see the unnormal environment that he was in. And I also want to mention that throughout this series, we're not only going to be connecting lost and found to purpose, but we're also going to be going deeper into if these people who have quote unquote made it. You know, Peaks is having a lot of success in the sphere that he is in. If, even though he's having that success, if he is aligned with his passion and if he's aligning that passion with his purpose. So, in these videos, not only are we going to be breaking down and finding the passions of Peaks, as we know he's very passionate about YouTube, passionate about content creation, and passionate about food, we're going to be seeing where that came from and also connecting it to his purpose and finding out what his purpose really is. So, in this short amount of time, we've already figured out that Peaks has been going through some childhood trauma, right? He was in an environment where he was in a low income environment in this cul-de-sac where his mom and him were surrounded by a bunch of people who were taking drugs, and that wasn't normal to him. Let's see how he progressed from that environment and how that environment shaped him and how he inevitably ended up in foster care because of it.
And my stepfather, he from Northeast, you feel me? And at the time, you know what I'm saying, he was selling that stuff, like back then. So it was just a lot going on. So the people, they was always in my house, you know what I'm saying? People in my house high, smoking and stuff like that. And my mom was drinking heavy at the time. So my mom, she was a violent drunk, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck happened in Cali that had her drink, because she blamed her childhood on the reason why she was acting the way she was acting, the reason why she was drinking so much. And when my mom
That'll do it. That will do it. As you see, there is a trend that is passed along from generation to generation. She blamed her childhood, and that affected how she behaved as an adult. Now, I don't see Peaks as someone who is blaming his childhood and allowing that to affect him because I can see how much work he has put in to not let that stop him. Maybe he's been ignoring it, and this is his first time talking about these topics. Although he has been pretty niche down into the food reviewing, he's been expanding to doing different things like going to the AFC game, if you've seen that video, or just doing other vlogs, right? But from my perspective, I haven't seen him allowing that to affect him. And we'll see if that is actually true throughout this video and how he has not allowed his previous generations' decisions and their childhood trauma and his own childhood trauma to affect him in his life and in his creation.
would drink, she would get violent. You know what I'm saying? Not violent toward me, but she would get violent toward like just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like on some real stuff, bro. Like if let's say we out and about and my mom's drinking and somebody just look at her funny, like my mom would want to fight them. Like on everything I love, bro. Like I've seen my mom, like she put stitches in a lady head before. She hit my stepdad in the eye with a bottle, had his whole eye messed up, bleeding, bro. Like she was on some like different stuff back then.
I get like that. If y'all had one of them ones, just know you're not alone. You can fight through. You don't have to let that affect you and affect your decisions. And Peace is proof. So far, I'm seeing he's pretty found. Like he's aligning and not allowing those things to hold him back. And so far throughout this video, I'm feeling like he is aligning his passions with his purpose and not allowing that to affect him. But let's see. I don't want to call it too soon. You know, we'll see if he actually is aligned. So stay tuned. Let's see.
And like my stepfather, he ended up leaving. And then, like I said, he was hustling at the time. You feel me? Like he was getting money in the streets. So when he ended up leaving, basically things went downhill because he was the one, even though we was on HOC, he was the one paying all the bills. You know what I'm saying? My dad was in and out of jail. My dad wasn't helping my mom out. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, it was just basically us type shit. You feel what I'm saying? So once he left, like my stepfather left, it was like I said, downhill. The lights was getting cut off. There was no food in the house. The dudes that was in like the cul-de-sac, They was coming to the house still, like hanging out with my mom. One of them started dating my mom. He was putting his hands on my mom, fighting her, stuff like that. So I was seeing like a whole lot of violence, you know what I'm saying, in the household type shit.
And the reason why I say that so far is because he's able to actually talk about those experiences, and he's actually being transparent with himself and the world. Like, this video has almost 70K views, right? Someone who was able to be transparent and open up and talk about their traumas and actually have the awareness of how that affected them has a better sense of self and a better sense of direction in life, a more direct purpose. They're able to know who they are in the moment and then shape where they're going and who they need to become. So that's why I say that thus far, but we can't say it too soon. We gotta watch the video all the way through, and we gotta also do more research. So I will be continuing to do videos on Peaks and other people. So make sure you subscribe so you can see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember this one night, like he was saying like this, it's gonna be a food fight. He was mad at my mom. I remember he fought my mom one time because she didn't have money, and he wanted two McDoubles. She went and bought one McDouble, and then he like fought her for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like back then, I mean, I was trying to defend my mom, so I was always fighting him shit like that, and I was just violent back then, bro. Like I was in fifth grade, like leaving school and shit like that. It was just a whole lot going on, and I thought that shit was.
And that's very that's not unnormal. That's not unnatural for people to take on the characteristics of the people that they are around, right? His mother was a violent drunk and since has recovered, and you guys have seen her if you follow Peaks, if you watch Peaks videos, you've seen his mom. His mom's hilarious. I fuck with her. She has a great spirit. But since that's not unnatural to take on those characteristics and that violence and that hatred that he is surrounded by. So when you see an angry person or you see someone who may be struggling with an emotion, you can almost guarantee that every single time their environment is matching that. And if you put them in a different environment and you begin to teach them how to actually become a person who doesn't define themselves with the people or the things or the emotions that are in that environment, then you can be anyone you want to be, right? You can be Peaks. You can be the best clothing brand owner in the world. You can be the best artist, the best musician, but don't just think because you're angry now or you can't get through this current emotion that you're facing now, you feel like you're depressed, you feel like you're anxious, that that's who you are, right? Take a look at your environment and the things in your environment that fuel that, right? And then you can see it's not just you. How it transformed from Peak's mom to him. And now that I don't know if he directly knows that consciously, but I'm sure due to his high level of awareness in this video that he does know that. And that's how he was, he was mad at the world. Like, think of any kid right now. I bet you if you go into impoverished neighborhood or you go to the hood, right, and you go to the projects and you may see some kids actually being able to enjoy the experience and being blinded by what's going on, but you may see another group of people or another group of kids who have seen something else, right? If you go to the projects and you ask a group of 10 kids right now if they enjoy their environments, I bet you most of them will say they do because they haven't seen anything else. But I bet you if you ask the ones who have seen something else, who go to school and maybe a more upper class neighborhood with more white kids who have shoes or Jordans, or you go and they've seen other things, right? They maybe went to an AAU tournament one time and they saw a whole bunch of like, nice things, people with nice cars, people with nice shoes, things that they didn't have. And then they started to become envious and become angry for what they did not have. I say that to say the main thing that it boils down to is not only exposure, but also where you are operating from. Now, if you're one of the people who is in the hood, enjoying the environment, doing hood things, and like completely blind to the other aspects and the other outlets that you can take, or the other ways that excuse me, that you can align your passions with your purpose, this video is for you. And if you are on the other end of the spectrum where you've seen more, you know there's more out there and you're angry because of that, this video is also for you, because this will allow you to take your mind from a place where you think about your environment as a detriment and start to change it to where you think of that environment as your greatest asset, right? And the thing that's going to take you from being the most average, whatever you are, to the greatest. And it all boils down to, right? All boils down to your mindset and how you think of that thing, right? So let's continue on. Enough from
It's
me.
cool at the time, you know what I'm saying? Because like everybody around me was doing it. You know what I'm saying? When you young and you see certain things, you thinking that shit's cool, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, that's not really like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. Like a lot of people try to like glorify like, oh yeah, I grew up around this, I grew up around that, I witnessed this, I witnessed that, bro. Like me personally, bro, like growing up, bro, I hated that shit. Like y'all could ask my mom, bro. I hated all of that shit, bro. Like I hated being home, nigga. Like I hated seeing like fucking people high, drunk. Like a lot of y'all be asking me, like, Peaks, why don't you smoke? Bro, that's the reason why I don't smoke. You feel me? Like
And that's exactly why. He was one of the people who saw more and didn't identify with the environment and didn't allow that to shape the person he was. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. That is a major factor in his success as a content creator and being able to escape the mindset of that environment. If he just allowed it to become him and consume him, then we probably will never see peaks, right? If if LeBron James allowed his lack of a father to consume him and not fuel him to get to the NBA, we wouldn't see LeBron James. If we didn't see your favorite actor and that experience that he had where he could either be the same forever or make this change or take this risk, we would never see them. So, what really is going to separate you from being seen or escaping the current place that you're at in your life is those small things and not allowing your environment to shape your identity and not allowing yourself to identify with those things that make up your environment. So if there's people smoking, if there's people doing drugs in your environment, then you can't allow that to shape your environment. You can't identify with that characteristic. You can, but is that characteristic going to get you to where you want to go? That is a question for you. If you are going to be the best crackhead in the world and you are in an environment where there is crack, then smoke the crack because that is you. That is you. Smoke it. Hit that motherfucker. If you're gonna do it, then do it. But if that's not what you want, then you got to figure that out.
I seen so much fucked up shit, bro. Like I've seen drug addiction my whole life. I seen like where that shit be taking people, bro. Like I seen like, bro, I just started, bro. I started drinking 2022 from doing food reviews, bro. Like I never drank before. Like on some real shit, I told myself I was never gonna drink, never gonna smoke, just because like how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the alcohol is not bad. Like I drink on occasions to have a good time, shit like that. But like that's the reason why I don't smoke. Because like I said, I've seen people like trip out being fucking fucked up and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like on some real shit, bro. Like so what ended up happening was the schools ended up getting involved because my grades was bad. Some days, like I said, I was in fifth grade leaving school. Like shit was fucked up. And then also, like I said, the dude was putting his hands on my mom. The police was getting called to my house every other day. You know what I'm saying? The police was getting called. My mom was fighting people. My mom was fighting him. I see my mom try to like stab him. Like I seen some like, you know what I'm saying? Some shit. Everybody in the neighborhood wrecking. Like I seen this one dude get knocked out, bro. Like imagine you in fifth grade and you see a dude snoring on the floor, bro, because like he got knocked out. I seen people who like get their teeth knocked out, all of that stuff back then. Like shit was fucked up. So eventually, you know what I'm saying? Police came. They was like, look, we get called here one more time. CPS is gonna get involved, type shit. So then, police ended up getting called again. I remember that night, bro. Like he hit my mom. He ran out. We was chasing that nigga. He ran, bro. This nigga was running for a brick out of nowhere, bro. Like he just turned around, shoved me on the floor, and then just kicked it. He was gone. He was out of there, bro. After that shit, I remember it, bro. Like I was sitting. Matter of fact, I had just gotten out of school. Just got out of school. Walked over to walked in the crib. My mom was listening to some Tupac. Like she used to always get drunk, just zone and Tupac. Coming to the jump.
Drama.
Tupac playing. She's sitting on the couch. Two people in the house. I can't remember what they looked like. It was a minute ago. Two people in the house. So one of my neighbors, she's like, "Let's leave the house. Let's leave the house." So I'm like, "Nah, I'm not trying to leave the house." You feel me? Like I'm trying, you know what I'm saying, see what's up with my mom type shit. Like I'm not about to, you know what I'm saying, leave my mom. So she was like, "All right." So she left. And then the dude, he was like, "Yo, like you gonna have to pack your stuff. Like basically, you know what I'm saying, you coming with us, we taking you from your mom type shit and all this other shit." And I was like I said, I was blown, bro. Like, cause I figured it was gonna happen. Like the school kept questioning me, like bringing me to the counselor's office, like what's going on at home. I wouldn't tell them nothing. Like I would always tell them nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like never told nothing that was going on, just because I already knew that it was gonna end up coming to that. You know what I'm saying? So I never told them nothing. I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing transpired. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's fine at home. Da 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 da. Like we know it. You know what I'm saying? They trying to. I think my sister ended up telling them, bro. Like she got her own story and shit like that. But I think my sister, she ended up telling. So long story short, they ended up taking me from my mom.
All right. At this time, we can see, and like many of us, Peaks is in a whirlwind. He is cooked right now from his environment to his influence to all of his needs are not being met. He's being taken away. He's in an environment that he sees violence, drugs. He is not getting the proper care. He's not getting the emotional support. He's not getting his need for growth, right? His need to improve and achieve what he wants to achieve. Who knows at this time what his passions are or if he even is familiar with purpose, but he is cooked right now. And I don't mean that in a way where cooked is bad. It's just like without the knowledge, what found is, or even what lost is, you're just in a space where you're just going through life with no direction. You have no map. Anything, any this, that, or the third could take you in any which direction. He has no control, right? And in life, there's a lot of things that we can't control. But when you really think about it, there is way more that we can actually control. But that comes with age, right? Or that comes with understanding how the game of life works. Like as a child in fifth grade, this time when he's getting taken away, and when we're seeing like how he got in the foster care system, we we know that at that age you have no real control. Like all of your needs are met by your parents, and if they're not being met, then you start to find ways to meet those needs, right? There may be kids joining gangs at that age because at home they don't have the necessary essentials, right? But the gang, they provide that for them. They feed them. They provide protection for them. They keep them safe at a cost, right? So they have to do a certain thing for them so that their needs can get met. And everything comes at a cost. Don't think that in life you're just going to get away with not paying the price in some way and somehow you will pay for the actions that you cause, right? You will pay. And you want to make sure that you pay yourself in the right areas as you are able to take on responsibility of your own life and of your own needs, right? You want to pay yourself first, make sure that you are prioritizing your life because, as you can see in many of your environments, in many environments across many backgrounds, not even just in this particular scenario with Peaks is going to the foster care system, like you have to be able to take on that responsibility. And it's not going to be easy, but I can help you do it. So let's see how Peaks progresses from this point where he's at right now. We already know that in the beginning, he was talking to more about how he ended up. And we're in the middle of the story. We're in the midst of him being lost, right? I know Peaks in his videos and how he is able to align his passion for food with helping others and making others laugh and making others feel included, right? On his journey of doing YouTube and on his journey of going to these different places. But you may not know that. And if you're watching this video for the first time, if you're an unfamiliar, then this 12 minutes is all you know of his story. And right now it may seem like he's lost, but let's see if in this specific video he is able to tell you how he got there. And if not, maybe we'll go into it at the end. So let's see.
Took me from my mom, and they had sent they had brought me to my grandma's house, but my grandma, she said she was already taking my sister, so she was like, I can't take both of them. You feel me? So I can't take all these people. She already had another one of my cousins living there. So then they was like, all right, bet. Is there anybody else in the family that would want to, you know what I'm saying, take them in? So then that's when I ended up moving in with my uncle. You know what I'm saying? Unc, the nigga that like y'all always be seeing me with.
Uh,
So I ended up moving in with Unc. I lived with Unc for like 2.5 years. I mean, living with Unc, it was cool, bro. Like, it was like his girlfriend at the time, because Unc had a girlfriend like up until like 2 or 3 years ago. He like since I've known Unc, he's always been with her. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my aunt for real. Like, he's been with her forever. They never got married, but they seemed like they was married because they was together for since I known them. And it was a good life, you know what I'm saying? She was a white woman, white family. They lived like in the country part of Montgomery County, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though Unc, like I said, like when he was in Cali, he was a blood. Like when he came out here, it was different. You know what I'm saying? He got a white woman. They living in the country. They vibing out. You know what I'm saying? She got bread, her house paid for, all of that shit. Everything seems good. You feel me? To me, at least. I'm a young dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know what's going on. My grades is better. You know what I'm saying? Life is different. I learned how to.
so look how much he was able to flourish just by changing that environment. Look what it can do. So his grades got better. He was surrounded by, I don't know if or if specifically they were giving him the love that he needed, but it seems like they were giving him something, and I'll tell you what that something is that allowed him to flourish, right? Allowed him to get the grades better, get some more peace of mind, not be surrounded by the violence, the drugs, the alcohol, and actually start to take steps towards something, right? We're all taking steps in life. Some of us may be taking steps backwards, to the side, and in any direction, right? And it depends on what's behind you and what's in front of you. And I'll tell you, all right, what's behind you is the old versions of you, and what's in front of you is the future versions, right? And the only way you're able to actually change the future is by changing the past. And one of my favorite content creators, one of my favorite coaches, period, Taekwondo, he said it in a more complex way that your past affects your future and your future affects your past in some complex way. But basically, what I'm saying is, and what I'm getting at is that if you do not change the future and if you do not change the past, excuse me, if you do not change the past, right? Wait. Hold on. If you do not change, man, fuck it.
I'm starting to skateboard. I'm hanging out with like white boys and shit in school because where we was living at, you know what I'm saying? That's what was out there. And like a lot of y'all probably wondering like, yo, Peace, how did you start skateboarding and shit like that? It all happened when I moved in with Unc.
I remember your future affects your past. So that sounds really high level, like garbage, right? But it makes sense. Peep this. So in this very moment, in this next moment, is the future, and I'll never get that moment back. And now that that moment is past, it's gone, right? So looking at this very next moment that we're about to experience right now, right? If I do not change that moment, that now that I just said, it becomes a moment in the past. And if I don't take a step now towards my goal, then that moment, that now that I just said again, just passed, and it's affecting the cycle of my life. So if I don't take a step today, right, the future and the future passes, and that today that I was supposed to take that step becomes yesterday, tomorrow. Wait, follow me here, follow me here. Let me give you some more examples, right? Let me give you some more examples. So think about it like this. If today, or let's think about tomorrow, since we're talking in the future. If tomorrow I'm going to say, yo, I'm going to record 3 reactions and I'm going to edit the thumbnails. I'm going to make the descriptions all nice. I'm going to put timestamps. I'm going to put tags, hashtags, all that. The thumbnail is going to be like this, and that, right? And I'm doing that because I want to grow this YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe. I want to grow it to this massive community, this community that is able to provide information, resources, technology, knowledge, connections, and everything that you needed that you felt like you don't have that will aid you on your journey. And that is the goal. So the reactions will allow me to get there. And so if I don't do the reactions and the day passes and we get to 2 days, right? We get to not tomorrow, but we get to the very next day. Now I'm one step behind on that goal. And every time that I say tomorrow I'm going to accomplish this goal and I don't do it and it goes to a past, it goes in the past, right? I passed that day, it's behind me. Now it's next week, it's Monday. And I said I was going to do it. Today is Wednesday, right? I said I was going to do it Thursday. I said I was going to do it Friday. I said I was going to do it Saturday and Sunday, right? And then it's Monday now, next week. I have just compounded so much disbelief in myself. I have not been a person or a man of my word. I am not taking any steps towards my goal. I'm actually going backwards, right? So that is how your future affects your past. And now that that past is not based off of a strong foundation of being a person or a man of your word or a woman of your word, someone who is dedicated, someone who actually follows through on their goals, now you're just a bunch of like, you just have a bunch of past days that are a bunch of bullshit that you have not added up what you said you were going to do. Now, let's say you actually do those things moving forward in your future, right? Now you have a strong past foundation of those things and those characteristics that allow you to push through and actually make those videos, that dedication, that focus, the hard skills like Photoshop, the hard skills like editing, the hard skills that allow you to actually get towards that goal. those skills are in the past and they are your foundation for the future. Now, to connect it to this video, if you have childhood trauma as a foundation in your past, that will always affect your future because you are operating from that foundation. Now, Peaks, he isn't an exception. He just didn't allow that past to affect him. He allowed himself to move forward and not be affected by that. And as you can see, how he did that was by changing his environment. Now that he's in a better environment, now that he's surrounded by Unc and the white wife or whatever she is, he is able to put that past behind him, start building on this new future, and actually start making a change in a direction. We don't know which direction, and we don't even know what his passions are yet. He hasn't said it, but let's see if he is actually found or if this is just the first couple of peeks into that, right? But all right.
You feel me? I was living a whole different lifestyle. It was not like the hood lifestyle, like when I was living with my mom. It wasn't like that. So that's how I learned how to skateboard, all that shit. Had a whole bunch of white friends. We would go to fucking
Passion number one, skateboarding.
Halloween, bro. Best Halloween we ever had, bro. We making smoke.
Before he got into this environment, he did not mention any other things that he was passionate about. You know why? Because he didn't have time for passion. He was struggling. He was hungry. He was angry. He was probably tired. His mom was up playing Tupac and drinking beers and getting violent. He had no time to become passionate about anything because he had to focus on his survival. He was in that mode. He wasn't able to be passionate and he wasn't able to find skateboarding yet because the environment.
Bombs, TPing houses, shit like that, bro. Like I said, like things changed. But then eventually, like my mom would tell me that like Unc didn't really want me there no more. Like he kept calling her, telling her to get her shit together because I guess my cousin, which is Unc's son, I guess he didn't really want me there no more type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an only child, or you know what I'm saying? Like so things kind of get different when somebody else come, and I understand that. You feel what I'm saying? It's like I'm taking his family from him, shit like that. So Unc kind of wanted me gone, and then me and my cousin started getting into it, or we were like dumb shit. We started getting into fights and shit like that, and then like I don't know what happened because I used to go to my other aunt. My other aunt, my cousin Keith.
Okay. So, all right, we'll save it for the end because I already know Peaks and his passions, or at least I think I know based on the videos that I've watched and based on how I've studied him and studied how he is able to bring his loves to the world and to YouTube and impact people. So I'll save that to the end. Right now, let's just see if he will tell us because I already know. But let's see if he'll tell us.
Or whatever. His mom. I used to go to Keelan's house because Keelan used to skateboard too every single weekend. I used to skate out there with Keelan 24/7. We out there, John. We skateboard and stuff like that. One day, Unc called me. He's like, "Do you wanna live with your grandma instead, so you can see her, start seeing your mom more?" And like this whole time, like while this all going on, my mom she was still lunching shit like that, still fighting people. She had lost the house that she was in. Like a whole lot of fuck shit was going on while I was living with Unc. But behind the scenes type shit, like I'm not there no more, but fuck shit was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm hearing it, but like I'm not there. So it's like when you know what I'm saying, you finally having fun and shit like that, you're not really paying attention to it. But she's like, "Do you wanna, you know what I'm saying, see your mom more type shit?" So I'm like, "All right, fuck it." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm cool with that. Come to find out, I had no choice but to go stay with my grandma because I had got taken away from my aunt. Like he was doing some other shit on the side, I guess that I ain't know that he was doing. I was like I said, I was young at the time. Like it wasn't just out there like it was with my mom. Like you know what I'm saying? Unc was doing shit like on his own time type shit. Like, I ain't know. I guess he got arrested or some shit. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I had to get up out of there. Social workers wasn't having it. They're like, "Nah, you can't live with your uncle no more." All this other shit. I have all these therapists coming to me, therapists asking me, "Yo, like, how does this make you feel?" Da 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 da, bro. Like, on some real shit. Like, just into this day, bro. Like, people be asking me. Like, my mom even be asking me. She be like, "Yo, like, does the shit that happened in the past like affect you?" Type shit. Like, does it bother you about this, that? I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, none of this stuff bothers me. I feel like when people be like, using their past as the reason why they do drugs or they do this or do that, I feel like it's an excuse. Because at the end of the day, bro, like I've been through a whole bunch of shit, bro, and I don't glorify none of that shit, bro. Like when people like talk about where they come from and shit like that, and they talk about like street life, bro, I've seen some fucked up shit, bro. Like literally, like I said, like even though I'm from, because a lot of people they
Look,
that I'm past like asking me, my mom even be asking me, she be like, yo, like about this that. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like none of this stuff bothers me. I feel like when people be like using their past as the reason why they do drugs or they do this or do that, I feel like it's an excuse. Cause
this is why Peaks is successful and we see him in this form today. If he allowed that to affect him, then we would not. Who knows, right? He may have fallen victim to those things in his environment. And I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say for him that okay, yeah, that doesn't bother him, but it 100% does affect who he is as a person today if he has not changed his perception on it. It seems like so far he has changed his perception on it and he is actually found, still found. I've been saying that since the beginning, but who knows how deep he has gone into it, right? Or how much time he has had to actually think about those things and think about how those experiences have played out. But one thing I will say is that thing that he just said and not allowing it to affect him is a clear, very very clear sign that Peaks is found. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Yeah. All right. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments who you want me to react to, who you want the next Lost and Found series to be on. I'm going to be doing your favorite streamers, YouTubers, athletes, random people. We're going to be doing viral clips of people doing wild stuff, not for the things that they are doing, but for those videos to serve as an example as to what quote unquote lost is, what quote unquote found is, and how you can start to find passion in life and how you can start to align that with your purpose and then make money like Peaks here. Peaks was passionate about skateboarding. We don't even get to see where his passion for food came in. Maybe that came in along the lines. Maybe that came in later in the video. Y'all go check out that video. But as you can see, he was able to align that passion for food and align all these different things that he loves, such as content creation, such as YouTube, with his purpose of spreading love and making impact and making people feel included in his family and bringing you guys along this journey and allowing you guys to be exposed to all these different foods. I'm going to take a guess that growing up, he wasn't able to have all these different experiences, didn't have the money, didn't have the time to go ahead and go out to these different restaurants. And now he is able to do that because he has created this platform, he has created this brand, and he has worked extremely hard to not allow his past to affect his future, which will then affect his past, right? If y'all guys got that analogy, if you guys got that, let me know down in the comments. If not, I won't be making a video on it. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's win from within. Only 5 mediums left. If you don't know, now you know.